Thanks for joining the webinar. We will talk about how SAFe talks about DevOps and what's the SAFe's way of thinking about DevOps and what's the implementation patterns that we see, right? I'll start a little bit with the background of what is DevOps, right? Again, from Wikipedia, DevOps says it is a software engineering culture and practice that aims at unifying software development and software operations. So the word itself, if you see dev and ops, right? So again, when you go back to the definition, it is the culture and practice. Practice comes later. It's a culture of both teams working together. And also when we see these two teams, which is development and operations, it's also to make kind of they have different priorities in the sense that development always thinks about when pushing a new code, how do I make my code better, how can I push get more and more value to the customer and stuff. The operation team by definition makes the software available to the customers, makes it operatable, and they want stability. So the moment you see a new feature coming in, there is always a pressure on the operations team to make sure it is stabilized and it doesn't fail, right? So, looking at these two extreme opportunities, the main characteristics is to strongly advocate automation and monitoring, because the ops team, which is making the software operational, always wants to make sure that it is a stable system. The system doesn't go down. Even if it does go down, they have a way of recovering as well, right? So while we advocate automation, we also advocate a lot of measurement as well, right? So this end of the day, whatever aim is, the shorter deployment cycles, increased deployment frequency, more dependable releases, so many and so forth, right? So if you look at again all of them in a nutshell, it might look good in theory, right? And it might look good in theory. What do we do to make it sustainable? Again, here when we talk about SAFe or Scaled Agile Framework, we are talking about a scale. It is a program with multiple number of people, mostly 50 to 125 people. And if you think about from the team size perspective, it is 5 to 12 teams. And when we say 5 to 12 teams, it is going to be very, very difficult to make sure that they are aligned to the same vision, strategy, and also the roadmap. Just from the delivery perspective, if you think about those are the things that we need to take care in way of the complexities that are involved. And when we think about something like DevOps, where we are saying development and operation works together now, think about just the scenario where 5 teams are working together and they are delivering on cadence every 2 weeks. And when they have to integrate their solution, it is going to be tough. And in this scenario, when DevOps is included and we are delivering on a near 2 weeks or even faster to the customer, or whenever customer asks, we deliver to them. Think about this thought that would go through the operations team's mind. Now, I have to think about 5 teams, or even more than that, what they have delivered. Make sure to bundle them all together, and when I bundle, they all should work together beautifully. And if say each team is delivering one feature, I need to make sure that those 5 features are working together now, not just one feature. All the 5 features should work together, and also they should work in a seamless fashion, right? So with all this complexities added in, and when I deliver to the customer, one thing that is on my mind is how much have I tested, right? How much the dev team has tested, how much I have tested, what the integration environment looks like. Is the dev team available, or is the dev team aware of what is a production environment looks like? Even if they have tested on staging, is it guaranteed that will it work on production, right? There is no looking back at that point in time, because we are directly giving it to the customer. Customers are going to see it, and if they see it is not working, what is the repercussion for me, right? So with these problems, or these thought in mind, let's think and dwell deeper into what is it that, right? Who is a DevOps team? So, as I said, development looks at a maximum speed, ops looks at a maximum stability. So, when you want stability, and if you are not really ready for those changes, that end of the day it halts everything. So the operation team halts everything because they don't want to change the system, right? And it would also mean working together would also mean that you have to adhere to the compliances. Architectural integrity has to be taken care. The security aspects cannot be seen in isolation. Quality is paramount for the customer. We have already committed to the customer on certain quality. Operations has to go quickly. Development, we know that the teams which are working in an agile way, they are developing in a faster cadence and pushing it faster for us as well, right? If I stop here and look at SAFE's way of looking at DevOps, they say that DevOps is looked at as something like a calmer approach, where we say, it is about culture, it is about automation, it is about lean flow, it's about measurement, and the last part is recovery. So when we talk about DevOps at this level, the idea is the first and foremost thing is the multiple teams have to come together. The multiple teams have to come together the first way. The second thing is the multiple functionalities that are there or multiple skill sets that are there, they have to come together as well. It is development and operations, which are, as I explained earlier, they are working in a different, both tangential ways. They have to come together now. How do we make sure them work together? That's about the culture and the mindset that, the new culture and the mindset that they have to move towards, that becomes very important. The second part, the automation part, this is where we try to automate as far as possible. Everything that is possible to be automated, we try to automate them. It could be about, it's not just about continuous integration and continuous delivery. Even the build deployment process itself or creating the environments itself, can I automate that? Even the non-functional requirements, can I automate them, right? So we look at what we call as single click deployment, where I push a piece of new code which kind of targets or which creates a new feature or a story. The moment that is created, the build is automatically generated. The tests are run against that. Maybe unit tests are run first, and then when integration tests are run, the functional tests are also run. The moment this tests become pass and the build says it's green, we try to deploy it to the next available environment. Which could be your staging environment in a real sense, right? In the staging environment, we kind of put it in the staging environment and also make sure that staging environment is almost mapping to your production environment. It might be a scaled down version, but it is kind of mimicking your production environment. And in this scenario, again, on the staging environment, we deploy the build or create the environment itself. If it is required, deploy the build, run tests against that staging environment, making sure that the build's integrity is carried forward. Once that is done, can we automatically even propagate that build to the production environment? Everything of this, can I make it seamless to the teams, right? The development team which is pushing the code, everything of this happens in the background. So the operation team's priority becomes making sure everything of this happens in the background. And once it is deployed, maybe even have ways of moderating it as well. If you think about this scenario, right? If I have 1 million subscribers and I push some feature and it is not working, it is not a good scenario for operations team to be in, right? Can I divert it to a subset of users? Maybe that is also one of the priorities the operations team takes care of at this level. When I say automation and lean flow, the third part, they think about how can I make the whole process lean. I can just push a small feature to maybe a small subset. With this lean flow, I start measuring whether it is working. Only when it is working, I can kind of auto scale it, or I can propagate it to other servers as well, so that every user on the system gets it out, right? So that's a culture, automation, lean flow, and a measurement perspective. The last perspective the DevOps in scaled agile environment takes up is about the recovery. Here, what we say is, okay, I have tried everything. With all this, there is there is always a probability. I mean, I want everything to be perfect. I have taken care of everything happening in a seamless way. But with all that, there is no guarantee that something might go down, right? I mean, you can always have something going down. I mean, for whatever unforeseeable reason. How can I avoid that one as well and be prepared for that one? I mean, that's where the recovery comes in. I want my system to recover, maybe not in hours, not in minutes, maybe even in seconds. How do I build a system, or how do I enhance my system where the recovery is, I mean, faster and quicker? So again, I mean, this recovery principle, I mean, goes hand in hand with DevOps three principles. The first principle says principle of flow, where I can push features and stories and value to the customer frequently. The second part talks about the feedback. Because I'm pushing faster, I'm getting faster feedback. Based on the feedback, I'll change, enhance, or update my services and product. The third principle says that there has to be experimentation, in the sense that even in a working system, I am always thinking about what could go wrong. I mean, that's where the measurements come handy, and I keep on thinking about, I mean, probabilities of error, and try to fix that error even before that happens, right? One quick example I can give is a tool called as Kiosk Monkey from Netflix. What they do is, the tool is instrumented on their production system and it keeps running. I mean, it can do anything on that production system. I mean, it's on the production system, not on the staging or a testing environment, but on the production system. It can drop a service, it can kill a server, I mean, it can delete a table, I mean, it can delete a column in a table, and multiple of those things. Again, the idea is the developer who is writing a code has to write a reliable and resilient code as well. If someone can drop a table on a production system, there is some serious issue on your, I mean, the way you are coding, right? So how do I avoid that one? I mean, that's where the Kiosk Monkey comes in and kind of helps them to really see what are the vulnerabilities that are there in the system, and make sure that, I mean, before you even give it to the customer, or I mean, even before, I mean, you're thinking about those issues, this tool helps you to identify those issues and make sure that, I mean, you kind of write a quick recoverable code, and I mean, auto spanning and some stuff like that, right? So the idea, end of the day, is it's about the team which has a culture of development and operational mindset. I mean, working together and delivering value through I mean, quick value through automation, using a lean flow, where, I mean, you are delivering one feature at a time, or I mean, it's a small chunk of features at a time to the customer, while you yourself are kind of taking an insurance against, I mean, delivering quickly by way of measuring frequently and also having mechanism to recover, right? And some history, again, 2009 we started with DevOps. I mean, in the O'Reilly conference, the first time the word was coined by Patrick DeBois. Then 2009, I mean, they created the first DevOps Days, and nowadays, I mean, again, DevOps Days has become one movement as such. Like Gartner also recognized in 2011 itself and said that this is predictable to be one of the largest movements in, I mean, software industry as well. Some benefits, I mean, even before, I mean, we go to the scaling aspect of it. This is from the Puppet's State of DevOps report from last year. What they say is there is faster lead time. I mean, I'll not go through the numbers as such. The faster lead time, there is fewer defects for the customers. There is recovery, faster recovery, less time spent fixing the security issues, because even the security we are thinking ahead and as the first class customer, right? That's where, I mean, we spend more time on the new work and more frequent deployments as well. I mean, if you see the numbers, it might stagger, but I would suggest you guys to go to puppet.com and look for the State of DevOps report. They actually give case studies for, I mean, each of these as well, right? I mean, improved employee morale, because now you have ways to recover. You know, I mean, how do we put a code more like put a code which is more likely to be successful. Yeah, safe that way helps bridge the gap between agile and DevOps. Again, I mean, I'll not go through too deeply on this one. At a program level, when we talk about 5 to 10, 5 to 12 teams, what does it that mean, right? So this is where safe thinking of DevOps comes in. What we say is DevOps is in the value stream where it has to be from concept to cash, in the sense that, say, we have a new concept or new idea to be developed, we develop it, then operationalize it, customers use it, and customers end of the day pay money for it. I mean, that's where the concept becomes cash for us. Only when the customers are using it, we say that, okay, this product is being successful or this product is usable, right? So SAFe looks at the overall thing as four things. One is DevOps has to start from exploring phase, not from a coding phase or, I mean, from a deployment phase. You have to think about DevOps or how development team and operations team can work together when you are exploring about a new feature. I mean, it kind of is looking at, I mean, I'm looking at some requirements and gathering them and breaking them down. DevOps involvement starts from there, and it goes on through continuous integration where your developers are developing and they are, or the operations team is deploying it to the staging environment and or the production environment. And as we have talked about earlier, releasing could be on demand. I mean, while development team is delivering on cadence every 2 weeks or 3 weeks based on their sprint length, right? Releasing has to be on demand, in the sense that if a customer wants at any time, I need to be able to cut the latest available code and, I mean, make a build out of it and give it to the customer. How can I make it happen? Again, if you think about large organizations operating in multiple geographies, they may not give the same feature in a similar way to different customers, right? I mean, again, I would look at as US market as different and Indian market as different, European market as different. If I have to deliver those solutions differently to different markets, I would rather look at a way to make sure that, I mean, release can be made in a different ways. So the operations team should have, end of the day, multiple ways of delivering software depending on their customer demands and major and minor releases as well. So we come to the last part, I mean, where SAFe has carved out a new course called SAFe DevOps, which is for the practitioners. Really making sure that, I mean, we understand the overall philosophy at that. I mean, at least we understand that it's about a culture, automation, lean flow, measurement, and recovery. But also we kind of need to see why are we doing this one? I mean, it is about alignment between business, operations, and development. It's also about continuously integrating and deploying. And end of the day, we want to get the value, right? I mean, we want to speak to the market with quality, but we also want to get the business value. So understanding the part of why, then how are we going to do it? By exploring, by integrating, by deploying, by delivering. But to do this one, what are all the things required, right? I mean, we kind of make a DevOps health radar where multiple parameters are looked at it, and what is it that development teams have to do, or what is it that operations teams have to do, right? So that's a priority there. So the SAFe DevOps course, throughout the 2-day intense course, right? I mean, what we take is we take our own problem, or say participants takes their own value stream, what they're developing, how it is going through the different phases of development. I mean, it could be, I mean, you might be using DevOps or might not be using DevOps. But when I say, I mean, the requirement comes to me, I break it down, I code for that, I deploy it on an environment, and then I check it, and then customers get them, and I mean, they kind of, customers also would test on that one, right? When I say that one, where is the problem in your overall value stream? So in this course, what we do is, I mean, we kind of look at each of the sub items in detail, really understand what is needed, really understand, I mean, how can we do it, what all needs to be done. Once we understand that one, I mean, we rate ourselves saying that, okay, I'm at 1 out of 4 here, I'm at 4 out of 4 here. So at the end of the course, what you will get is, you'll get a radar with the scores assigned for each of the sub items in this chart, really looking at how is your build happening, right? How is your verifying stage happening, right? How is your stabilizing stage happening? Are you collaborating well, right? So we look at all these aspects, rate ourselves. So when we go out of the class, we have an action plan, I mean, that is ready for ourselves. And also we put up start thinking about what could be the future state of, I mean, my development process. I mean, where do I want to go, right? So this is what, I mean, kind of safe DevOps course helps you and understand that one, and also gets you a viewpoint around what is it that required for you to take it ahead in your own organizations and become successful at scale as well, right? So with this, I mean, kind of, I complete what is there for from my side. If you have any questions, please let us know through Knowledge Hut. Thank you.